Do you know that what you eat helps determine your frequency? Yes, it's all about frequency. We are alive, we are energy, and vibrating high is the name of the game because when you vibrate high, that is actually your currency. So here we are, and we are just eating any old thing, but when we value and appreciate ourselves, we eat high vibrational foods. What's good, souls? If this is your first time listening, welcome, and please don't hesitate to like and follow. Now, on this podcast, we are talking about high vibrational foods to eat because what you eat matters. And when you know that you're conscious about you deserving the best, you don't just put anything in your mouth, right? Because, the thing sometimes we kinda grow out of that stuff that we used to love, like, even me, like, for example, I used to be a big wine drinker before I began my spiritual journey, but after I started on the journey, it's like my body didn't want it anymore. It was just too low vibrational, which, I wasn't expecting that, especially for someone who went to wine school to become a sommelier. And I was shocked because I had an incredible wine collection. So I gave it away to a lucky person that's enjoying it. And sometimes when I look at their collection, which is my collection, I get a little bit like, like why did it have to be this way? My name is Yvette, and I am your host of Spiritual Juice Podcast, where we talk about all things spiritual, healing, and we just add a little bit of clarity on the divine journey because it can be a little bit hectic, it can be a little lonely, confusing, and so it's nice to know that you have a place that you can go to where people understand you, because let's just face it, people don't resonate with you anymore, or you don't resonate with them because you're growing and your vibration is growing, and things that used to matter don't really matter anymore, and you lose a lot of folks, a lot of things, a lot of places, and that sort of thing. So let's talk about food, because the fact of the matter is that I love food. I'm a foodie. I own the title. I am the big time foodie, okay? And I ain't gonna lie about that. But I'm not talking about just food, but I'm really particular. Like, if I wasn't before, I am now in a big way. I don't just eat anybody's cooking. I don't just shop where everybody shops. I don't eat things from a can. I don't eat meat, fish. I just don't eat things that are just, I mean, I'm not like, okay, let me just say this, that I'm just real particular at how it looks, how it vibrates, the colors, where it's from, who made it, and everything. And I love to make my own food. And I am particular, and I'm not like crazy, like prudish, but you know, I'm real particular. So let's just say that. And I have good reason to be. And I think you do too. So let's talk about this food business. Now, technically, let me just say it, I am what people would refer to as a vegan. Vegan. So no meat, no fish of any sort, no dairy, no eggs. Every now and then, every blue moon, I might get a craving for like a small piece of cheese, and I don't deny myself. And it's not just any cheese. Like, it might be a piece of like nice hard cheese, and that's it. I'm good for a while. Um, every now and then, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm gluten free, by the way, as well. So my body's gotten extra sensitive, and maybe yours may have gotten that way as well. Like, the things that I'll try to eat that I used to enjoy, and my body will reject it. It's like my body's like, well, what did you do that for? Right? I mean, I didn't kind of start off with this intention to be vegan or to like not like a lot of things, but my body just switched up on me. It says, this isn't this isn't vibrating. at the proper frequency, so it does not agree with me. So there you go. So I do eat in a lot, and or I have to have special places, and you probably do too. I mean, a lot of people in the community, in the wellness space, they're eating well, they're doing well. Some people are growing their own food, and I think this is amazing, and that's like my dream, is to grow a lot of my own fruits and vegetables on my own land, and just kind of share it. Like everything I don't like eat, I share it with the community, because I don't really need everything I grow, and or just kind of trade it with, like, say for example, if I grow like lemons and someone's got like carrots, okay, give me some of those carrots and I'll give you some of these lemons, kind of thing. So let's talk about well, first of all, let me just say this. This is my everything in order. This is my first episode in the year 2025. Yay! So, all of you guys out there, happy 2025. And I will say that I don't follow the Gregorian calendar, because officially, it's not really the natural rhythm of the universe to celebrate January 1st as the new year. The new year starts with the springtime, which makes sense, right? Because, and it also makes sense that springtime, the first season, would be in spring and not January 1st. But that's another story. Okay. So, those of you who are celebrating New Year, Happy New Year. And this is our first episode in 2025. So, we're talking about food, and everyone. I hope you had a great holiday season with lots of food, lots of drink, lots of vibe, lots of great time, lots of memories as well. And so technically, like everyone like says, okay, I had a great time and I ate more than I expected. I probably gained a few pounds. And so we're back into the rhythm of things. And let's talk about these high vibe foods, because I know it's hard with all of the sweets and all of the stuff. We go from like Thanksgiving and everyone's eating the traditional foods with people and everyone's cooking. And then there's you know, the other holiday, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or what have you. They're doing their thing, but food is a way of life, and there's lots of it to go around. Okay. So I will say that food is one of my favorite topics, one of my favorite things to do. I love cooking, and I want you to know that during this past holiday season, I did not overdo it. I kind of like laid around a lot, didn't do a lot. I treated myself a little bit, but I didn't go crazy because my body doesn't, and tell me about you. Like, how did your body do during this holiday season? Did you just kind of go out and just eat everything inside like normal, like a normal person during the holiday season, when there's a lot of food that you enjoyed just because it was there and it was available, and you thought, maybe I'll just have this drink, or I'll have, like, this turkey, or I'll have these ribs or whatever, just because? And if you did, it's okay. There's no judgment, and you can do whatever you like to do. Now, I got a thing for food, like I said, and I have been on the high vibrational food truck, food wagon. I think it kind of started really for me when I was really young, because my mother was not a great cook by any stretch of the imagination. She could not cook. I mean, she worked too, so it wasn't like, she had time to kind of like just really get into the gourmet vibe. And she didn't have that creativity, I have to say. And so my youngest brother, Greg, and we are like the two out of the kids that we love food, and we love to go out. We love it in a particular way. And, it's got to be right, because maybe because, we grew up and the food was like horrible. So, I mean, that's kind of traumatizing. Come on. Like, trauma is trauma. And if the food is nasty, it's not going to be nourishing. If the food is not quality, it's not going to be high vibrational. It's not going to do its job. It's not going to nourish you. It's not coming from a loving space. And when someone's preparing your food and they're preparing it with love, the food tastes a lot better. Have you noticed? Like, if you go to a restaurant and in the kitchen and people are in the back and they're not being paid well and they're not liking their job or they're not being treated well, all of that energy goes into the preparation of the food. So keep that in mind. So having a mom who didn't like to cook, she just kind of rushed and threw anything together and cut corners, and you just kind of felt it. At least I did. I certainly did. And I knew when I had my own money and when I was old enough, then I was going to be eating everything that I wanted to. So this is what I do now. And whether I'm cooking at home or eating at someone else's place, I like to personally, okay, when I'm eating at someone else's place, sometimes I like to eat before I go, just because I don't feel compelled to eat everything if the food is not proper or it's not to my liking. I'll eat a little bit and then I won't be starving and I can still enjoy myself at the dinner table. But the fact that I'm a vegan, it really kind of helps because some people, they'll kind of excuse me. So, as I was saying, that the food thing, when you eat food, we have to know that fresh is king. Fresh is high vibrational. Fresh is everything, but not just fresh, but colorful. Like beautiful colors, not just like beige or white or whatever. I'm talking about colors like greens and reds and orange and purple and all the beautiful colors of the rainbow. And this is why and how you know that it's high vibrational, because it comes from nature, but also it's vibrating and it's colorful and it looks delicious. The colors are like only nature could have created these colors. Now, right now, for me, it's kind of challenging because I'm not in my own spot and I'm staying with a friend. And so I don't have my own kitchen right now. Their kitchen is nice, but kind of small. And they don't have all my gadgets and um, all the things that I like to use because I love the gadgets and making it easier and modernizing cooking. And I love to throw down in the kitchen in a high vibrational and healthy, tasty. And when I say tasty, I'm talking about seasoned food. It's got to taste good and it's got to be well balanced. It's got to be good looking. And I like things that are colorful and from scratch. All right. So people don't know this, but I have tried to grow my own foods, and it just seems like I don't stay in any place long enough to go from season to season. But again, I'm going to tell you that it's my lifelong goal, and I'm making it happen. And imagine back in the days when your grandmothers and great grandmothers, they had their own gardens. I mean, everyone had their own garden, right? So because we are healers, because we heal ourselves, we can thrive and we can experience our own vitality. And food is medicine. Okay. It's mind, body, and soul. That's what we are. That's what high vibrational, that's what healing. This is what we are collectively, but also individually. We are about our minds, our bodies, and our soul because they are all intertwined. And this is what makes up you. And they all, like, if you're lacking in one area, then it kind of throws the synergy off of everything. So you are what you eat. Okay. So keep that in mind. Like, what are you? You have to decide if you were a car, like, what kind of car would you be? And you wouldn't just put any type of fuel into that car. You want the best fuel. You want the high vibrational, you want the premium stuff so that your Ferrari or your Lamborghini can roar. It can really roar and purr and operate in an optimum kind of way. Okay. So the first things that I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about, like, the most, in my opinion, the most high vibrational foods out there for us. And of course, it's prepared with beautiful, loving hands, but it's organic. It's grown in healthy soil that provides lots of minerals to the food. So, which I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. Now, let's talk about like vegetables for a second. Now, people talk a lot about greens or organic greens, and I think this is very, very important. The more green or the darker and the leafier they are, the better. So that's like everything from like greens or collards or like lettuce or like cabbage, just things like that that are super kale, spinach, all of those kinds of things and more. They have a lot of megahertz and they're great for recovery and they're super great for manifestation. They vibrate like super high and it cleanses the blood. It helps with blood cells. So lots and lots and lots of leafy green vegetables. But also think about high vibrating like root root vegetables. Yeah, I couldn't hardly get it out. Root vegetables. And I'm talking about like beets and like sweet potatoes and turmeric and carrots and all kinds of stuff that we get from the soil that is from the earth. And not only are they really good for you and they're really colorful, but they help to keep you grounded. Like, vegetables like these really, they come from the soil. So they're really good for grounding and other things, but those are just a few things, but there are so many benefits. Now imagine like when you make like juices from like these fruits and vegetables, it's even like better. It's like a beautiful like melody of vibration, like instantaneously going to your bloodstream, going to your energy field. So it's great to make fresh juices and consume them like as soon as possible. You feel grounded, you feel light, you feel good, and you feel satisfied. You know you're doing something good for you, and it's getting directly to your system, your bloodstream, your digestive system. So it's amazing. So, okay, let's go to the fruits. So colorful fruits again. We're talking about like everything from like citrus fruits to like apples to like dark berries like blueberries and raspberries and strawberries and mangoes and apples of all colors and types, just pineapple, everything, all kinds of really, really good food, including tomatoes. Tomatoes are fruits, but just really high vibing fruits and vegetables. And it's okay to cook them a little bit, but for optimum, for the most nutrition, the most vibration, is to have them raw as much as possible. Okay. Okay. Now, what about, let's see, I want to say that I think that originally, man, we were herbivores. Okay. This meat thing, I don't know how it came to be. Our teeth are not made to pull and claw and chew like meat. We're just not made for that. If you look at a tiger, or they're made for that type of thing. They're made for just using their molars to pull and rip that meat. And again, you are what you eat. So if you start eating like wild vegetables, I'm sorry, not wild vegetables. That's a good thing. I'm talking about wild animals. Yes, thank you. Whew. Wild animals. We start to like behave like them. We start to act like them. We start to vibrate like them in a way. And I can't stand it when I see a person and they are enjoying meat, like say a steak, and it's got all this blood, like they want it like rare. And they think it's good, they think, oh yeah, this is really good. I'm masculine. This is raw. They like it runny. And I just can't even look at that because it's like so freaking disgusting. And our bodies can't even process it. We can't digest it. It takes like a few days. It stays in our system. Not hating on meat lovers, okay? This is not what this is about, but I'm just saying that's not exactly high vibrational, okay? No one here wants to act aggressive or be angry like animals. So just a side note about the beef that our bodies, our systems have not evolved in a way where we are we are designed to consume meats of that stature. I'm talking about like especially like beef, okay? Okay, so I think you get what I'm saying, but it doesn't mean that I'm judging you or you're any less, but we're talking about high vibrational foods here, okay? So the next is raw seeds. I'm talking about walnuts. I'm talking about sunflower seeds, almonds. They're all really, really healthy for the brain and cognitive health. And they're just really, really good proteins. It's nice to kind of throw them in to your veggies or salad or eat them raw or whatever. But it's really, really good. My favorite out of that, I think, is walnuts. I mean, I like them all. Walnuts, sunflower seeds, almonds. I eat a lot of almonds, but all the others as well. I eat pumpkin seeds. I love that. And I eat them as much as I can every day. Okay. I've been making like cheese, like vegan cheese recently, using a lot of cashews and making sauces and things like that out of like seeds. So really, really good source of protein. So don't talk about, well, I don't, I'm a vegetarian or but I don't get enough protein. There's plenty of protein out there. Just think about it. Okay, next on the list for high vibrational foods is something we cannot live without, and that is hydration. Yes. So, comes in many forms, but the purest form, the most high vibrational forms are coconut water or just spring water or alkaline water, actually. Any of those or just one of those. I mean, they're amazing. Drinking plenty of water to keep you hydrated. And if you can, try and drink from a glass and not plastic. Okay, because plastic is chemical and it is kind of low vibrational, not kind of, it is low vibrational. So let's talk about, coconut water. So coconut water is like nature's Gatorade, and it gives you so many electrolytes. So it's even better than like spring water. And it helps to really reduce inflammation in the body. And I've known people to who have certain health issues to drink primarily coconut water because they have a lot of inflammation in their body. So it definitely seems to be in order. But I like to have coconut water in my smoothies so I can get it that way. But I usually drink spring water or alkaline water on a regular. And sometimes I feel like I get more thirsty these days because I don't know. I just feel like my body is just wanting more water as opposed to actual food, which is interesting. Okay, because I do get a lot of water from my foods, and I'm talking about like my fruits and veggies. There's a lot of water, and they say that that's the best way to receive out water. But I don't know. I can't be like eating all day fruits and veggies. Maybe if it's like super hot, like if I'm living in the jungle or something. But let's talk about ground spices and roots like ginger and pepper and turmeric. And it's crazy because, science is just talking about this now, how important like these things are. They're talking about, turmeric being really good for inflammation and ginger being really good for digestion and all that. But, we've always known that, right? We've always known that this is medicine. This helps to heal us. And this science seems to always lag behind spirituality, and it's really sad. And we can get into that on another episode, but I'm really disappointed, and it lets me know that science doesn't care about healing. They're not in the business of healing. So I use food as my medicine, and food of all kinds, herbs and seeds. And I'm like, right now I'm taking castor oil. It's just old school like remedies, really simple. And just let it do its thing. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get over, but it definitely like cures it. Like not just like mask the symptoms, like because you can have a cold and then you take this cold medicine and it kind of the symptoms go away, but deep down inside the virus that caused the cold, they're still there, and so we have to take things into our own hands, and just get back to the basics when it comes to high vibrational foods. So let's get down to superfoods. And you've heard the term superfoods, and I don't know why they call it superfoods, but I think every high vibrational food that I mentioned is a superfood. But for all intents purposes, I think that the science again that they want to call these superfoods. I'm glad we have them, and I'm glad that we are taking them because it's kind of like still new on the scene, at least in a large scale. But let's talk about chia seeds. So chia seeds, and though they're simple, I love to eat them in so many ways. I mean, I love to put them in my, like if I'm having yogurt or smoothie, or I make like my own like crackers, my seeded crackers. So I love chia seeds. Some people put it in water because it helps you to feel full. It helps you with, like it's like a fibrous type of thing, but it's very high in protein. Maca root powder, ashwagandha, sea moss is one of my favorites, and just gives you so many nutrients, and there's lots of other like superfoods. I can go on and on. And with that said, it's not enough just to be spiritual and to meditate and do the healing work. It really isn't. And whatever you love to do is your thing, but it would behoove you to feed your temple with the most potent, the most colorful, high vibrational foods that are in season. This is important. Finding and appreciating the foods that are fresh and that are grown locally, if possible, and that are in season. So if you can find those out, I know out there, I go to the farmers market for certain things. I go to certain markets, like supermarkets as well. But I love like browsing through farmers markets and picking up all kinds of stuff that are in season and that are grown locally. I love the artisan foods as well. I get my mushrooms from there and all kinds of good stuff, gluten-free bread. Like all the stuff is made locally, and I really like it, even with the salsas and stuff like that. So local is really, really good and really cool. All right. So remembering that, it's all about showing up as your authentic self. You want to operate at a high frequency, you better eat high frequency, because it's going to be difficult to manifest. It's going to be difficult to heal if we are not eating high vibrational foods. And I think from my experience, that the more I've seen people heal, the more I heal, the more I want to do for my body, the more I want to exercise, the more I want to take care of it, the more I respect it, I appreciate it. I want just anybody in my energy. And I certainly I don't want to eat like any old thing. I'm really particular, and I hope you are too, because it definitely affects you, your spirit, and your ability to stay high vibrational. And nobody wants to be sick. No one's got time for that, right? So take care of your temple and eat all you want. It's okay to crave foods, and don't be a fanatic about it. You can eat what you want every now and then. You can treat yourself. I love to have like a nice piece of chocolate. I ordered a pizza the other day, but it was gluten free and it was vegan. It was like the best, like gluten free and vegan pizza I've ever had, and it's like, and the price reflected it as well. It was like $40, but it was amazing. It was amazing. And it's crazy that we have to pay more for high vibing organic foods. It's just a shame. It doesn't make any sense to me. And this is why we have to start like growing our own stuff, because they really get us. Like just for like on the pizza, the gluten-free version as opposed to the non-gluten-free. Okay, the non-gluten-free, the regular crust is like the regular price. But for gluten-free, they add like almost an extra $5 onto it, which is crazy. It's really crazy. Um, anyway, so I don't want to get down with that. But the pizza that I had was good. Or I want to say that as far as pricing and eating foods that are good for you, and high vibrational foods seem to cost more. We have to kind of like pick our own unique strategy for enjoying these foods, especially if they cost more. Like there's a big difference between having plant-based milk as opposed to cow's milk. Well, they've got plenty of cow's milk full of hormones and so on, but I know when I'm away, and I like to make my own plant milk from like almonds, really super easy, or whatever nuts I have, because I enjoy coffee, so I have to have milk in my coffee and make my own plant-based milk. Or if I go out and buy a plant-based, it's got to be with no fillers and no this and no that, like high vibe. Really, really important. I know some of you have children, you have families, and you say I've heard people say, well, it's like, I got a family that's like 3 kids, we can't all. Well, let's just say this, that even if you want to enjoy meat, which meat is very, very low on the vibrational scale, but just have a smaller piece and more veggies. Let's say, for example, say like 65 to 75% high vibrational foods, and maybe a little small percent of like, low vibrational foods if you're like really wanting it. Just balance off and overcompensate. Okay. Or if you normally like have, let's say, a Pepsi. I had an aunt, she just was addicted to Pepsi. It's highly addictive, by the way. So instead of like having 2 or 3 a day or one a day, why can't you just have it like on certain days? And like, and then drink more water, like, just have it when you want to eat, as opposed to, and then carry the water around with you. Just be strategic, just work it out and see what works for you. Don't make it feel crazy trying to get organized and stay high vibrational. But just, if there's something that you're really wanting, you want this, you want that, just do it. But just be conscious and be intentional about it. Okay. Now that's all I got for you. um I just want to say that you will be amazed at how your taste buds are starting to change. Because with all the food out there, and if you're in, developed countries, there's like tons of food that are just available and ready, and all you have to do is pick it up. And not only that, they will give it to you. They will drop it off. They will deliver it to your doorstep. So it's so easy and it's fast. And don't be tempted to skim on the foods that you ingest. Okay, because you're going to pay for it, but you will find in the end that the things that you used to love that were not high vibrational, you won't want them anymore because your body is going to reject it. So, okay, for real this time, that's all I got for you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and let me know that you're there so that we can help get the word out there. It helps the show to reach more people. And I will see you on the next episode of Spiritual Juice Podcast.